live stream. I'm going to take the dog for a walk in a little bit, so kind of wanted to get this out of the way. I may show up on Drinks with Dee Dee today, but I'm not sure. And the reason simply is I'm not sure how I feel about Vladimir Putin, but I know I'm not on the anti-Russian side. Okay, I'm not on anybody's side because my philosophy is this: when George Soros and Klaus Schwab tell you they want you to do something, don't do it. They're the bad guys. They're Bond villains. They are just bad people, okay? And I don't know what they've got against old Vladdy, but, you know, I don't know what to think. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about, well, first off, we'll do some Obi-Wan Kenobi news. And I have a complaint. Disney, if you're watching. Mr. Chapek, if you're watching, I feel for you right now. You're doing the right thing, and you did the right thing. Basically not making a comment about the parental control of education law, which is what that law is actually called, in the first place. You put out that memo. It was well written. Probably Ms. Arnold had something to say about it, too. You wouldn't have put that out there without her. And just keep fighting. But I do have some advice. Hey, Marty, Obi-Wan Kenobi going to be coming out in May 25th. I want to explain something. The fans hate Kathleen Kennedy, hate her, okay? In fact, I might retitle this later and even change the thumbnail. She does not help you sell subscriptions. She does not help you sell merchandise. She does not bring people to the parks. If it's true that the board wants to get rid of her, why isn't she gone? Don't let her do PR for this show. I was just on Instagram and they were quoting her on Insta talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, and maybe it was an old quote. She needs to not be mentioned, okay? Seeing her name as an executive producer is enough to send a lot of people who don't think straight into tizzies. They won't watch the show because of her. They won't get Disney Plus because of her, okay? This is bad. And I don't know why you guys haven't done anything about this yet, okay? If you've got an employee that's causing you to lose money, why are they still there? Hey, Joker voice. It's a perfect question because she has. All right? Why is she still there? I don't care, what the club says. I don't care about the phony mythology built around her because we all know it's phony. Everybody in Hollywood, save for a few people, are phony, and we all know it. We're not stupid here out in flyover country. The moment I saw her interviewed back in 1980, whenever, when she was with Steven Spielberg, I think it was, they were doing PR for Temple of Doom, I didn't like her because I thought she was a fake. I thought she wasn't supposed to be there. Why was she there? And I still think that. I still think that she is probably the worst thing that has ever happened to not only Star Wars and Lucasfilm, but to Disney, okay? Her and Bob Iger. So why is she still there? I know you have someone in mind to take over. Do not sit here and tell me you can't find anybody to take over Lucasfilm. I have plenty of friends who are in the film industry who would love to do it, okay? but you'd have to let them run the company and fire and hire people they want. That's what this is about. All right, you want a good product? You gotta get people who love what they're doing. People who are activists don't love what they're doing. They're ideologues. Ideologues don't have any value in the creative process. Okay? They don't know what creativity is. They see they're parasites. They're parasites. It's beyond my comprehension as to why this has been tolerated for so long at Disney, and since now that you and Ms. Arnold are in charge, why you're not moving quicker. All right, fine. Maybe there's money, and you're worried about her saying things, and I get it. I understand. But the fact of the matter is, I can name the channels, say Sci-Fi Universe, I can name the channels that when they go on IMDb, if you don't have IMDb Pro, who go and look and see her name as a producer of anything, executive producer, which is meaningless, of anything that has to do with Star Wars or Indiana Jones, that they start freaking out and say it's woke when it's probably not. It's this, it's that, when they know she doesn't have any control over this. I would like an explanation for why you literally are stuck with her. Again, I believe the board wants her gone. I would want her gone. If I was Susan Arnold, I would say, I want you to find a new job. I don't feel like signing your paycheck anymore. Okay? If I have to pay you, $500 million, get your ass out of here. That would be me. Okay? What good has she done? All right? Look, every movie that woman, I'm going to have to change the name of this. I'm sorry, guys. I will get to the Pixar bitching. But I had to say, there are very few women in Hollywood that I respect. I respect Leslie Zemeckis, but Robert Zemeckis' wife. She's a great lady. She's a friend of mine. Okay, really. Good book recommendations by her, by the way. I respect my friend Dee Dee. I respect a lot of them. I don't respect Kathleen Kennedy because she has not done anything on her own that makes her worth paying the kind of money that she's getting. She has not. What kind? I don't care if it's the club. I don't care if this is how Hollywood does business. In this day and age, when inflation's going rampant and everybody's trying to grab a buck while they can, you're still paying somebody who's basically dragged the greatest franchise in the history of film into the friggin' gutter because of her friggin' politics, who has allowed her employees to abuse your customers. Why? Was signing her 3-year deal with the last thing you did for Bob Iger? Why would you listen to him? I would say, no, I'm not going to sign it. I'm not. I mean, this is intolerable. I mean, I want to watch Star Wars without the distraction of her, even when I know she doesn't have any power over what's going on. Even when I know Jon Favreau fired her showrunner. He won an Academy Award. And the awards are meaningless. They're meaningless. They mean nothing. There you go. Okay? No one cares. He did a shitty job. Favreau fired him. Brought in Deborah Chow. Now at least the show looks decent. Talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't want to be reminded of what she did to Gina Carano, even if I don't care anymore. All right? Right is right. I know they do, but I'll get to my point. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and you can't change it. Okay? Those are the rules. You know, there isn't a balance of doing good and bad. You either do good or you do bad and you screw everything up. Either because you're evil, you're incompetent and lazy, or, you know, you're stupid. Okay? Yes, her name has to be on some of these things. But when I am on Instagram and I see her being quoted by the douchebags at Star Wars Direct, that pisses me off. Her name is enough to drive people off. You have a problem with that. You do. You have a problem with that. But having her up front as Alfred, you know, squawking like, you know, a hen with their legs caught in a electric fence, that really doesn't help. You're giving people who hate you no matter what ammo. And I'm talking about the black pill channels that are now, you know, on the road to greatness with whom, I'm going to say this, I said this in my upload, I wouldn't be caught dead near. All right? Because if someone says, well, Glenn Beck's said this, I'm like, I need a judge's ruling. Because he's crazy. Okay? Andrew Breitbart did a lot of the same stuff, but he did it with an intellectual integrity that Beck doesn't have. Okay? All right? And that's the truth. You know, it was probably contract, and I don't mind that. What I mind is her doing PR for anything. Now, if it's contract that she has to do the PR for this, Obi-Wan is fucked. I don't care how good it is. It'll drive people away. All right? It'll drive people away. All right? That's the problem. She needs to go. She really, really does. So if the board is saying she needs to get the heave-ho, do it. Have her come into the office, you and Susan Arnold have a long conversation, and have her leave with a box for all of her shit. Okay? I'm serious. I cannot... The idea that one of the world's most powerful companies is being held hostage by this phony, angry, old hag is beyond my comprehension. All right? I'm looking at this going, you're literally allowing this to happen. Where is, you know, the button to, you know, put her into the, you know, flip the chair over, Dr. Evil? Where is it? Because I'm going to press that motherfucker. Okay? This is, she pisses me off. But she pisses everybody off. That smug, stupid, smarmy look on her face. The idea that she looked at George Lucas and lied to him. That she looked at the interviewer at, I think, D23 and lied about books and comics. I mean, the idea that she allowed her staff, Pablo Hidalgo being the most egregious one, to abuse and bully and attack fans, to basically criminally defraud people. The fact that she allowed Disney to be connected to a pervert like Jason Ward. I'm literally like, what is it gonna take? Get her away from there. Then she can have her name on there. No one will care because she's gone. Okay? Anyway, so Bob Chapek kind of went back on his word about not saying anything. And he called Ron DeSantis, and I believe they had a meeting. My read on this is this. Hey, Bob, how you doing? Hey, Ron, what's going on? That was the meeting. Well, a small minority of my employees are very upset about this law. Well, let me explain the law. The law basically protects pre-kindergarten through third grade children from being exposed to being taught sexuality, human sexuality at too young of an age. It's called, I saw the name I'm on Truth Social now. I saw the name on it. It's called the Parental Control Act. Basically what it does is it basically gives parents the right to do a lot of things if they feel like their kids are being indoctrinated or not getting the education they should be getting by ideologues posing as teachers. By groomers, two gay men can't have a baby. They have to groom young children, all right? The problem with all of this, I'm Sci-Fi Universe, I'm just got on. I mean, they're onboarding people very slowly. So you just be careful and wait. Just wait. Two gay women can't conceive a baby. They either have to have artificial insemination or they have to adopt. There you go. Okay. I'm very much for this bill. It's basically parental rights. Okay. As a Catholic, I would never send my kids to public schools anyway. If we were still in the military and we had kids, I would homeschool. There are plenty of, you would not believe the homeschool groups in the military. You live on base, there are plenty of parents out there that homeschool their kids, and the socialization will be wild, okay? Now that we're out, we probably send them to the Catholic school attached to our church, because I know they're not going to get that bullshit, okay? I know it. And I know Father would fire any teacher that tried it. Okay, you're not there to teach kids about this crap. That is, if it's even wanted to be taught, the purview of the parents, period. And there are a small minority at Disney, but you wouldn't think it was, the way Variety and Deadline are going, blah, 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 and The Hollywood Reporter. They're pissed off. Okay, so to placate the little tiny minority of screamers, Chapek went and did all this, and they still won't shut up. Now we've got Pixar bitching that the suits, Kareem Davis, Alan Bergman, probably Jon Favreau, basically told them, you have to censor any allusions to homosexuality in kids' cartoons. My question, do you want that? Did we ever get anything like that when we were kids? No, of course not. Okay? Of course not. There's a reason why teenage boys fall prey. All right? They weren't groomed like that as children. All right? What is TS? I don't understand what TS is. So I'm like, okay, you guys are bitching about this. These are kids' cartoons. Why is this in a kid's cartoon? And I'm going to say this. If John Lasseter was still running Pixar, this shit wouldn't be happening. Okay? As far as I can tell, this looks to me like people like Kennedy and stuff are trying to take swipes at JPEG. They're scared to death of him. Oh, Truth Social. I know they have Sci-Fi Universe. That's why I said you're gonna have to be patient. They're trying to do everything correctly, and working bugs out, and basically trying to make it so we can use it and we're not gonna run into any trouble. All right. Anyway, so we've got Pixar whining and sending a letter, and it got leaked to Deadline. How convenient. You know, and it's like, do you think that Bob Chapek doesn't know who you are? Do you think that Alan Bergman doesn't know who you are? Do you think that Kareem Davies doesn't know who you are? They do. And you want to know what? They don't give a shit. How's that? Okay? They don't care. This shit doesn't, you know, I know the investors were upset about the Don't Say Gay bill, that they like to call it that, but it's not what that is. And I think the thing that really upsets me is that Chapek didn't explain to them why he didn't want to say anything. There's no reason to. A lot of rich people out there are not very nice people. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of them, here's the deal, the more money you have, the more bored you are, the more weird shit you do. Okay? Rich people, wealthy people, and I'm not talking about, you know, millionaires, like like we have $9 million. I'm not talking about that. Talk about people with hundreds of millions. I know that, Sci-Fi Universe. I'm talking about people with billions of dollars. They're very odd people. They're bored. So they get themselves into weird stuff. Hence, why we have all this shit going on. Okay? My thing is, if I was Bob Chapek, I would kill this right away. I would say, look, you guys do children's cartoons. These cartoons are watched by little kids. They don't need to see that. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. If you don't want to work at Pixar, making things for you know, a normal family environment, you know, go work somewhere else. I would give them that option. All right? They're not being bullied. They're not being harassed. They're not being you know, hazed. They're not. They're physically safe to be who they are, working at Pixar, working at Lucasfilm, working at Disney. This is not about anything else than a small minority of a small minority not liking the fact that they can't go after your kids. Okay? That's what this is. And Deadline Hollywood is part of that issue. Are they even aware? Or, you know, when you look at, you know, and honestly, I mean, these people actually believe. I mean, I remember, I'm going to tell you something about Barbra Streisand. She once said that people whose preferences skew very young are just expressing themselves differently. She did that. She said that. I'm like, oh fuck, we're screwed. The reason why is because she's the queen of the club. Okay, she might not make movies anymore, but they all go to her fundraisers. Every time that, you know, beaked-nosed woman says anything, they all jump up this high. Okay, even Steven Spielberg. All right? And it's the women who are the ones that are pushing this shit. Because, look, you know, there's a difference between having a gay friend and then condescending to your gay friend. Okay? There just is. And they condescend to their gay friends. Okay? I've said this before, I'll say this again. The awfuls, now what is an awful? Affluent, white, female, ultra, leftists have absolutely no idea of the space they take up. They're not self-aware at all. Okay? This is what we're fighting, I guess. So, JPEG, you know, basically is playing whack-a-mole right now. Because what it looks like to me is that a little cabal within Disney, probably Feige, and that cunt Kathy, and yes, I said that because she is, are trying to frame him and even Susan Arnold as being homophobic. This is what this is about. This is what this is about, okay? They're not going to succeed. They'll probably get those people at Pixar fired, okay? This is a re. And the reason why is because, look, first off, there are people at Disney and Pixar and Lucasfilm and Marvel that know they're going to be fired. They know they're going to be told to leave. Okay? All that has to do is see Feige, Kennedy, and whoever's running Pixar gone. Every one of these assholes here, these three. Oh yeah, I agree, Jedi Mistress. Are all basically Iger's people. This is coming from Iger's camp. Okay? You know, again, I don't see Susan Arnold marching up to Ron DeSantis saying, I don't like this. She don't have any time for that shit. All right? Don't have any time for that. And in this day and age, these people, I mean, they literally, this is the problem we have with the radical part of that community, the alphabet community. They're narcissists, okay? They know they can't make more of them, so they're going after your children. The sun rises and sets out of their asses, they think. The world revolves around them. Narcissism. Does it make you feel good that they feel powerful enough to tell the CEO and the chairman of the board what to do at Disney? You're censoring us. You're making children's cartoons, not pornography. This, look, JPEG knows this is killing Disney to allow this woke, disgusting, perverted shit into Pixar, into Lucasfilm, into Marvel. He knows it. He's aware of it. I'm sure he has kids. And I'm sure that Susan Arnold, let me tell you something about people like her. They don't want to be that way. They don't. All right? I can tell you a story about a friend of mine. Well, if she's fed up, she needs to start firing people. All right? She needs to, if Doomcock was right, and she had Arnold had Kennedy in her office, and it wasn't pretty, why is Kennedy still there? And another thing, just leave. You've done a shitty job. Look at this. It's like, do you guys remember back in the day, Barack Obama standing amongst the ruins of Washington, everything's on fire, and he's standing there like this, and he's saying, "My work here is done." Kennedy standing amongst the ruins of Lucasfilm with Pablo, "Our work here is done." That's what that is. It's time for her on her own to decide that it's time to go. And going back to what I was talking about, the people at Pixar who sent that letter and cried about, it said, sorry Gus, they knew what they were doing. They know that was unacceptable to have in a kid's cartoon. They know that. And it's like, you knew you were going to get beaten down. Everything runs in a cycle. What I find fascinating, I said this, and I said this a while ago. The woke shit's done. It's over. Okay? They might not be able to see it. They have felt too safe in their little echo chambers out in California and San Francisco and LA. And too insulated from the real world. Okay? They don't understand that things have changed. They don't understand numbers. They don't understand what I assume Ari Fleischer was doing when he was doing the research into who actually is a Disney customer. But they're not the ones that overly buy everything. It's nuclear families. And I'm sorry, but those families, especially in the South, which is where Disney World is, are not going to go to Disney World, not going to go to Disneyland, not going to spend the money on the movies, Disney Plus, if they feel like their children are being exposed to things that they shouldn't be at a certain age. Okay? I even think high school's not a place to talk about this stuff. I really, really do. And the reason why is because they're still kids. I mean, a 16-year-old doesn't know where their own nose is. I mean, look at the 20-year-olds around us. Anybody honestly think that they're mature enough to handle the world? They're not. Look, when my dad was 20 years old, he got drafted, he volunteered to join the Army the day after Pearl Harbor, okay? When my dad was 22, he was a radio operator in B-24 Liberators, okay? My uncle was 18, landing at Normandy, okay? They weren't in a safe world. They grew up during the Depression. I didn't live in a safe world. Sure, we had a lot. But this did not just happen. I wasn't born this way. Okay? All right? This right here proves, in 1987, the world wasn't safe. I thought it was. When you're 19 years old, you think you're invincible. This is why the young go to war. They're young, they're strong, they're courageous as hell, and they think they can take on the world. I did too. But I was taught a bitter lesson. All right? It could be a bully, it could be a mean guy, it could be, just get hit by a random car. Okay? House fire, whatever, or a a bacteria that took advantage of a weak, flu-ridden body and decided, I'm going to park here for a while till I kill her. Didn't. I'm still here. But that's not a safe world. Okay? The world has never been safe. All right? Parents who insulate their kids from bee stings, from skinned knees, falling off bicycles, getting hit in the face with a kickball, getting bucked off a horse, aren't doing them a favor. Are not allowing them to deal with bullies on their own, and not encouraging them to say, hey, don't let them do that to you. Don't let them do that to you. We're not doing the kids a favor. All right, you learn when you're a kid that you gotta stick up for yourself, and you learn because you're in a social situation with other kids that the world isn't safe. These guys don't understand that. So instead of, going, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing that, they demand that they have access to your kids. But what if one of them feels this way? They're 5 years old. Again, they don't know where their own noses are. What the hell are you doing? Trying to put the seeds of doubt and to groom them. That's what that's about, okay? And CHAPEK knows this. And I think Susan Arnold does too, all right? I've heard way too many, all right, here's the deal. A little story for you. Every year, the Florida State Police and the FBI do a sting in Florida for pedophiles. And a lot of them work at Disney, okay? At Disney World, all right? They get fired, they get thrown in prison, okay? And the thing about it is, because Disney does cater to nuclear families mostly, these people put themselves where the prey is easy to find. And you've got these people at Pixar who want to have access to your children. Again, a homosexual couple of any kind cannot create babies. They either have to adopt or get a donor, get a birth mom, okay? They don't create babies. How do they get more of them? They want your kids, okay? I'm not saying this because I'm homophobic. I'm saying this because it's true. Ask any of your friends who will be. I've got a friend who I'd love to have on here someday if I can figure this out, to talk about his experiences growing up, okay? These are things that the elite in Hollywood don't want you to know, all right? These are the things that people who celebrated what Hugh Hefner was doing but despised him, really, don't want you to know, okay? They don't want you to know. I mean, it's, in my opinion, very obvious why they're upset. What do you mean we can't have this in this kid's cartoon? Because it's a kid's cartoon, okay? It's a kid's cartoon. Now, if the animators at Pixar want to leave, there are plenty of people out there. Well, she needs to start doing something about this. And she needs to basically clamp down on it, okay? CHAPEK's only doing what Arnold wants him to do. So maybe they have a plan, I don't know. But I'm getting sick and tired of this. I don't know about you guys. I don't think alphabet people's livelihoods and lives are a priority right now. We have bigger fish to fry. Inflation, food prices, gasoline shortages. All right? We got, Putin running around the Ukraine. Okay? Threatening nuclear holocaust. All right. Guess what, gay people? You're not a priority right now at Disney. Okay? Because you're costing them money. Okay? So, shut the fuck up. Do what Bob Chapek wants you to, or leave. Ta-da! Anyway, I've been on for 40 minutes. I ranted and raved long enough. If you haven't seen the video I put up about the Obi-Wan Kenobi Vader conflict, please do so, because yesterday I had the idea to write it or to put it out there. Today I did, with the help of Baz Taylor, my wonderful techie dude off in England. And I really want you guys to watch this, because I already had a black pill who didn't watch 5 minutes of it. Oh, Don Coleman's right. I already had a black pill come and say I was wrong, and he didn't watch the video. And I removed the comment. Now, why do I do that? We know a lot of people are saying, well, we all should get along. Yeah, we should. But here's the deal. You want to get along with me? You don't come on my fang and troll. If you, instead of 1 or 2 lines of, sputum all over my frickin' channel, it'll actually tell me why I'm wrong. Watch the whole fucking video before you say anything. Jonathan, he actually did put his nuclear weapons on high alert. So yeah, he kind of did. And we pushed him to it, okay? There are two people to create a problem. But again, I don't really think that NATO should exist anymore. I think, Putin has a right to bitch. And I did a video on this, or talked about it before. And there it is. I'm not a fan of Alex Jones. Don't bring him up on here anymore. I wouldn't be caught dead with him on this channel. I'd like to be taken seriously. Okay? I'd love to have Don Trump Jr. on here. I'd love to have Donald Trump himself on here. But they don't talk about Alex Jones, okay? Andrew Breitbart, when he was alive, I'd love to have had him on here. All right? The people that I hang out with are serious people. Alex Jones is not a serious person. Neither is Glenn Beck. Okay? They're not. And they've had way too much of their own way on certain things. In fact, instead of Alex Jones, watch Sticks and Hammer, 666. He's into the occult. He's a pagan. I think he's a witch. But he's got a lot of really smart stuff to say, okay, about what's going on in the world. But back to what I was saying. At least, if you're going to come on here and disagree, have an intellectual, deep discussion about why you disagree. Don't be a dick. Watch the whole video, all right? Why I ban people and remove comments sometimes. I remove the comment if I know for a fact you didn't watch the video. If I know for a fact, he's a smart kid. He really is. If you don't listen to anything else, and you just want to be there to be contrary and to cause a fight, because most of the time when I see people disagreeing with me on here, They're trolls. They're there to troll. They're not there to have a deep discussion. Okay? Again, I'm a serious person. I've discovered that a lot of people out there are not. They don't know how to be. Okay? But watch the video. I think you guys will really, really like it. I've had a really good time. I had a really good time this morning putting it together. So enjoy it. I gotta go do some stuff and I gotta take the dog for a walk. So I'll see you guys around the galaxy. Have a good afternoon. And anything else happens today, I'll be there.